Welcome to the Trend Micro Deep Security video series. My name is Nick Russo, and I'm a customer service engineer on the hybrid cloud support team. For this deep security video, we're going to review both scheduled and event-based tasks in deep security. We'll cover when to use scheduled versus event-based tasks and take a deeper dive into creating scheduled and event-based tasks. When creating tasks in deep security, you must first determine the type of task you want to create, scheduled or event-based. We'll go into the details of creating both in this video, but I want to first cover the differences in these tasks. Tasks can be created to be ran on a regular basis with a scheduled task, or a task can be kicked off based on an event that takes place in your environment, like the creation or power on of a virtual machine. Most tasks that can be scheduled include operations like recommendation scans, malware scans, checking for updates, and others. Event-based tasks are operations that you want to occur when a certain event happens, such as a computer being powered on, a new computer created, or an IP address change. After the event takes place, the Deep Security Manager can check a set of conditions for the event that occurred, then carry out a certain task. Depending on what outcome you're looking for will determine whether you use a scheduled task or an event-based task. Let's now go a bit more in depth into scheduled tasks. To create a new scheduled task, I'll go to the administration page in my DSM, then click on Scheduled Tasks on the left. I'll start by clicking on New, and a pop-up window comes up for the task creation. I'll select the type of task I want to schedule, and we have options to check for security updates, check for software updates, discover computers, generate and send reports, run script, scan computer for integrity changes, scan computers for malware, scan computers for open ports, scan computers for recommendations, send outstanding alert summary, send policy, and synchronize with VMware vCenter. For an explanation of each of these available options for scheduled scans, make sure to check out the link in the video description. Depending on which scheduled task type is selected, there are additional options to be specified. For this video, I'm going to create a Scan Computers for Malware task. I'll specify the frequency of weekly for the scan, then click Next. I'll configure the time, time zone, and timeout for the task, along with the weekly frequency and on what day I want the scan to run. On the next screen, I'll specify which machines are going to have the scheduled task run against them. I can select all computers, a smart folder group of machines, a group of computers that may exist in a folder from a cloud connector or in the manually added computers group, all machines using a particular policy and sub-policies if needed, or I can specify an individual computer. I'll click Next and I have the options to name my task, enable the task, and run the task when I click Finish. Now that I've completed these steps, the scheduled task will run as configured until it is disabled or deleted. When creating other tasks, the options and information required to complete the setup of that task may be a bit different, and I would recommend referring to the link in the video description for more info. Event-based tasks let you monitor protected computers for specific events and perform tasks based on certain conditions. When creating event-based tasks, it's best to first identify what type of events could occur in your environment that you would like to have kick off a task. Events that can be monitored by deep security are as follows: computer created by system, computer moved by system, agent initiated activation, IP address changed, NSX security group changed, and computer powered on by system. Depending on the type of Deep Security Manager you're using, on-premise, Deep Security as a Service, AWS Marketplace, or Azure Marketplace, will determine the types of events that can be monitored. For example, the computer powered on event cannot be leveraged by a DSAS manager as it's only compatible with virtual machines hosted on ESX environments in VMware. After you've selected an event to monitor for, you'll then specify what happens when this event occurs. Depending on the type of event-based task you're creating, will determine the actions that can be taken when that event occurs. For this video, I'm going to create an agent-initiated activation event-based task. I have three options available for when an agent-initiated activation occurs: assign policy, assign relay group, and assign to computer group. For this event-based task, I want to assign a policy and a relay group when an agent-initiated activation occurs. So I'll enable those options and select a policy and relay group, then click Next. Next, I can specify conditions for my task so that it only applies to certain machines that are activated from the agent side. I'll specify computer name and any computer that ends in the name Dallas. I have the ability to add additional criteria, but for this exercise, I'm using only the computer name to kick off this task. The last step of the creation allows me to give the task a name and specify whether or not the task is enabled. We've now created a scheduled task and an event-based task. There are lots of options available for automating tasks in your deep security environment, and by scheduling or monitoring for certain events to occur, you can reduce the amount of time and steps it takes to deploy protection to your workloads. Make sure to check out the links in the video description for additional information related to task creation. If you have any questions about the concepts covered in this video, feel free to reach out to our support team and we'd be glad to help. Thanks for watching.